Welcome to Reading Between the Lines with Roshan. I want you to take a look at this extract from For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. In fact, I'm going to read it with you. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon before the planes came. The snow had all been gone by noon, and rocks were hot now in the sun. There were no clouds in the sky, and Robert Jordan sat in the rocks with his shirt off, browning his back in the sun and reading the letters that had been in the pockets of the dead cavalryman. From time to time, he would stop reading to look across the open slope to the line of the timber, look over the high country above, and then return to the letters. No more cavalry had appeared. At intervals, there would be the sound of a shot from the direction of Sordo's camp, but the firing was desultory. From examining his military papers, he knew the boy was from Tafalla in Navarra, 21 years old, unmarried, and the son of a blacksmith. His regiment was the 10th Cavalry, which surprised Robert Jordan, for he had believed that regiment to be in the north. The first letters he read were very formal, very carefully written, and dealt almost entirely with local happenings. They were from his sister, and Robert Jordan learned that everything was all right in Tafalla, that father was well, that mother was the same as always, but with certain complaints about her back, that she hoped he was well and not in too great danger, and she was happy he was doing away with the Reds to liberate Spain from the domination of the Marxist holds. Then there was a list of those boys from Tafalla who had been killed or badly wounded since she wrote last. She mentioned 10 who were killed. That is a great many for a town the size of Tafalla, Robert Jordan thought. There was quite a lot of religion in the letter, and she prayed to Saint Anthony, to the Blessed Virgin of Pilar, and to other virgins to protect him, and she wanted him never to forget that he was also protected by the Sacred Heart of Jesus that he wore still, she trusted, at all times over his own heart, where it had been proven innumerable. This was underlined, times to have the power of stopping bullets. She was always his loving sister, Conca. This letter was a little stained around the edges, and Robert Jordan put it carefully back with the military papers and opened a letter with a less severe handwriting. It was from the boy's fiancée, and it was quietly, formally, and completely hysterical with concern for his safety. Robert Jordan read it through and then put all the letters together with the papers into his hip pocket. He did not want to read the other letters. "I guess I've done my good deed for today," he said to himself. "I guess you have, all right," he repeated. "What are those you were reading?" Primitivo asked him. "The documentation and the letters of that request we shot this morning. Do you want to see it?" Needless to say, that is one beautiful extract, but we're going to pay closer attention to the style used here. To begin with, you could observe a strong sense of bureaucratic detachment throughout the extract, a rather cold, matter-of-fact approach around something as severe as war. The loss of life of a soldier does not seem to shock or alarm the characters here, and we are immediately desensitized to the idea of death. There is also the sense of detachment that you will observe right through the extract, from the way the papers are examined to the name of the central character. Although we are looking at the documents of the soldier and know which town he came from, we don't learn what his name is. This implies that he is just another soldier that died during the war, further adding to the sense of detachment by removing any emotion. You can't feel bad for just anybody's death. The lead character is also addressed by his full name at all times, further enunciating the distance you would feel. Anybody you address by their full name, you always maintain a formal distance, and perhaps that is probably how the writer wanted us to view this character, with a distance. I like the paragraph that mentions religion because of the presence of irony. There is this queasy feeling that one goes through realizing that the God and faith the soldier's sister hoped would protect him didn't really save him. Does this paragraph call into question the existence of God? That is debatable. Maybe it suggests the need to have faith to calm one down. I get this from the use of the dash and the word underlined that followed it. In that paragraph, in the line, "It had been proven innumerable," this was underlined. The fact that innumerable was underlined by the sister, to me, suggests wishful thinking, a masked worry, and a hope and faith that God would ultimately listen to them and protect them. The irony stands out here because we already know that this soldier has lost his life. All of that being said, you get a faint glimpse of emotion as well from Robert Jordan, perhaps his conscience talking to him towards the end of his passage. Robert Jordan didn't want to read the rest of the letters. The last paragraph also involves Robert Jordan talking to himself. This is perhaps guilt or remorse at the death of the soldier, or maybe it is realizing that the dead soldier was a young person brimming with life who had a family waiting back at home worrying for him. So, this then contradicts the entire idea of death being desensitized. The moment we realize Robert Jordan feeling bad for the dead soldier, we are perhaps immediately drawn to the idea of war being futile and something that snatches away lives at a young age. I hope you enjoyed my analysis of the extract. I'll be back with more in other videos. Until then, goodbye.